Okay, hi BookTube, Aaron here. Hope you're doing very well. Last week I put up a book haul video. It was a very sneaky book haul, and at the end I said it was probably going to be my last book haul for a while, which invariably means that it's going to be followed very soon by another book haul. And that's what's happened this time. On Saturday, we went out for a walk and just ended up buying books. Um, so I've got a little pile of books to show you. And the first couple are two that my wife wanted to pick up, and I don't always share books that she decides to pick up. The first is a Wycliffe book, so by W.J. Burley. I know these were adapted into a TV show here in the UK, and so it's about I guess about Chief Superintendent Wycliffe, and this is Wycliffe and the Cycle of Death. I do quite like that cover. There's something very atmospheric about it, um, and so Matthew Glynn, a respectable bookseller, is found bludgeoned and strangled. Chief Inspector, Chief Superintendent Wycliffe is mystified. Why would anyone want to kill him, and in such a brutal manner? And then I'm sure there'll be things in his past, in his background that will probably shed some light on that. But yeah, this might be something I'd want to try actually. I've never seen the Wycliffe or Wycliffe, I'm not quite sure how it's said, TV show. Yeah, it looks interesting actually, so I might try that at some point. The next one, another one my wife picked up, is it's one that I would want to read just because of the name. It actually sounds like it's quite sweet. This is The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake by Amy Bender. And it says, on the eve of her 9th birthday, Rose Edelstein bites into her mother's homemade lemon chocolate cake and discovers she has a magical gift. She can taste her mother's emotions in the slice. All at once, her cheerful, can-do mother tastes of despair and desperation. Suddenly, and for the rest of her life, food becomes perilous. Anything can be revealed at any meal. Rose's gift forces her to confront the truth behind her family's emotions, her mother's sadness, her father's detachment, and her brother's clash with the world. But as Rose grows up, she learns that there are some secrets even her taste buds cannot discern. So yeah, it seems like a very quirky little book, but I think I'll read it just just for the title, the particular sadness of lemon cake. And then a few that I picked up that again I wasn't really planning to get anything, and then there are just a few books that I saw there and just couldn't resist. First up is The Lost Girl by D.H. Lawrence. I know absolutely nothing about this book. I've never read any of Lawrence's novels. I've just read some of his poetry and his short story, the Rocking Horse Winner, which I really like. But there's no synopsis on here. We just got a biography on the back, and it's an old penguin from the early 50s. This is a reprint from 1954. The first printing was from 1950, and it's a period of penguins I really like. So I really picked it up for the edition, but also to hopefully to get a taste of what D.H. Lawrence's novels are like. Another old penguin that I like the look of. I'm guessing this is what their classics, like their sort of ancient classics, must have looked like at one time. This is Aeschylus, the Orestean trilogy. I hope I'm saying that correctly. So it's got Agamemnon, the Sephori, and the Eumenides. And this is the Philip Valcott translation, and it's got notes on them all. This feels a little more brittle than the D.H. Lawrence. Maybe this has been read a little bit more. But when's this one from? So this one is a reprint from 1959, so it's actually a little bit newer than that Lawrence. And then the next couple are much more recent. We've got The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy by Lawrence Stern. A novel from the 18th century, I suppose, when the novel was still, I suppose, relatively young in English, and I suppose there weren't as many rules. And so, from what I've heard, this book just kind of goes all over the place and is really explorative, and is really funny as well. And I really quite like that cover with Tristram Shandy greeting death as he comes in through the door. But yeah, I don't know too much about this, except for what the opening is like. But this is one I've seen in libraries, and I've sort of flicked through it and just seen all these weird diagrams and lists and I don't know, almost sort of mathematical formula or something like that, sort of all thrown into the text. And so it seems like Stern was very playful, and so I'm excited to see what it's like. And the unfortunate thing is, it looks like this edition. It looks like whoever had it had something stuck to the edges. There's some kind of grime there that I'll have to try and remove. And then this next one is a replacement. It's a book I've already got, but I slightly prefer the look of this one to the one I have, and it's a book that I'll certainly be rereading at some point. And it's the Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. The edition I've got has got a few other stories, and this does actually have the Congo Diary in there. But the other edition I have has a few other stories in there, which I didn't really like quite as much as the Heart of Darkness, so I don't mind losing those. So I'll probably get rid of that other edition and keep this one. I like these Penguin 20th century classics a fair bit as well. Yeah, there's just something to them I quite like. And then this next one I just picked up for the title, and then I opened it up and found out it was a completely different book than what I was expecting it to be. It's called Ulysses Found by Ernley Bradford. And when I just saw the title on the spine, I thought it was like a reader's guide to Ulysses or something like that, and Ulysses by James Joyce. But I opened it up because I don't think I've really heard of this, and it's about the Odyssey, or it's about, I suppose it is the recounting of certain voyages that this author took in the Aegean and the Mediterranean, and he's essentially trying to retrace the steps of Odysseus in the Odyssey, and he is, I don't know whether he's tentatively or maybe quite brazenly trying to identify the actual places that may have inspired the story, or I suppose if you're being a bit more sensible about it, following the steps of Odysseus, and then actually finding where they actually end up, which is probably realistically what it would be. But yeah, it just seems really interesting, and so it's sort of ruminations on literature, but it's also travel writing, and sort of very personal as well, because this guy has spent a lot of time sailing. So it sounds really, really interesting. It's got these really cool looking illustrations at the beginning of each chapter, and this is it's published by Hodder and Stroughton, and it's a Readers Union edition from 1964. And not in my last haul, I don't think, but in the haul before that, I hauled The Fall of Constantinople by Stephen Runciman, and that was also a Readers Union copy. And there's something to them that I really liked, and I've not seen them before, but I picked both of them up from the same bookshop, so I'm maybe going to go in from time to time and see if I can find any more. And they always have these really lovely end papers and with these lovely maps. So this one is, if you can make it out, sort of delineating, if that's the right word, the journey of the Odyssey. So yeah, just a really lovely looking book, and it's from the 60s, so it wouldn't really have colour plates in it, I suppose, but still some lovely black and white plates in the middle as well. So that's Ulysses Found, and that's everything. So it's not a particularly excessive haul, but I suppose if taken in light of the last haul, might seem a little bit excessive. But there we go. So that's Ulysses Found by Ernley Bradford, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy by Lawrence Stern. We've got some plays by Aeschylus, translated by Philip Valancourt. We've got The Lost Girl by D.H. Lawrence. We have got The Peculiar Sadness of Lemon Cake. And then we've got Wycliffe, I'm pretty sure it is Wycliffe, isn't it? And The Cycle of Death by W.J. Burley. And there we go. So that's my even sneakier haul to sort of add to the pile from last time. Let me know if you've ever come across any of these and what you think of them. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.